You know what? I
Hi, everybody. It's Linda G, and here's Mel.
Hi everybody. Um,
Hi.
what what is so fun about Mondays? I get to spend a little bit of time with Linda. I have a confession to make though.
What?
I thought I had posted our show today on my channel and I forgot. So I posted it like a half hour ago and I apologize to you. I
That's
just
okay, because listen, with my Sterling show, I got over 300 something questions.
wow.
So I have
Yeah.
plenty of questions.
Well, I know there's 61 now. And um I watched you live and you had how many live? You had like 4 or 5 thousand, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yesterday?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not much. I've had where I had 11,000 one time.
Wow. But it
Yeah,
was
it was a
fun being
trip.
part of it,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway. So what's new with you, my dear?
Nothing. I finally got the urn for Lulu's ashes.
Oh,
And then I'm going to be on today with Ness after you. Her and I are, she's doing the numbers for May.
all right.
And I'm just, hanging in there. It's getting easier. But last night, I swear to God, I could hear Lulu breathing by my bed.
It was her.
I could hear her breathing as clear as day. And I put my hand down like I used to because I could tap her head. She'd
Oh,
reach up so I could tap her head. I didn't feel anything, but that was her.
that was her. You know, the hardest thing to do is when you get the ashes back. When Radar's ashes came back, that dog was my shadow. Everywhere I went, that dog went. She just never, she had been abused so much as a puppy. She never, before I got her, she bonded with me, but she wasn't fond of other people or other dogs. And but when they called and said her ashes were ready, I couldn't go pick them up. I had Gary go do it. I said, hide them. I don't want to see them.
Oh, I know when Moochie died, I had to go get Moochie's. Very hard, very hard.
I'll tell you a story about Radar. Now, Lucky is the sweetest dog I've ever had. She's just a sweetheart. But Radar, I could leave the door unlocked, never had to worry. And she used to lay behind me on the driver's seat when I would drive, right behind me. And if somebody would put their hand in the car, she'd bite.
Yeah,
So I was at Boston Market. I think they pretty much closed here, but
they did. They
their
did.
food was good. So I had a bag of food and I was in the car and there was this guy approaching the car and I just reached down and pressed the lock button and he's trying to get in. And screamed out the window, "You need to get back because my dog will bite." And he's sorry, oh yeah, we will bring it on. So I put the window down and he put his hand in. I said, radar guard. She came over that seat and she nailed him. I mean, she was,
Was he
he was like,
screaming?
he was like, stop, get your dog off. I said, you SOB, I hope she kills you. I said, you ought to be glad I didn't open the door. So I called the police and they came and I said, here's what happened. And so if you see a guy that's got a dog bite to his hand in the hospital,
So, what was his intent? Was he planning on kidnapping you or
I
taking
think he
your
was
car?
trying to I think he was going to try to carjack the car.
Oh my God.
So, then I was like, it'd be my luck. He'd sue me because my dog bit him.
Yeah, a lot of people will sue people who go in with guns to hurt families and they fight back and kill one of the burglars or something. Their family will sue.
Well, I'll tell you something. I guess he learned that day if that, but I mean, she was over that seat in a heartbeat.
She knew.
Oh, she just, and I was like, whoa. Now, Gary could put his hand in the car, but she loved my neighbor. And I said, Sandy, don't put your hand in the car because she'll bite. Oh, she won't bite me. I said, I'm telling you, she put her hand in the car, radar almost got her. So I would take her to work with me and she would jump behind me on my chair and lay right behind me. I mean, she was about 40 pounds, so I had to share I had a bigger chair, I share it with the dog, and she would watch out the window. And if somebody came in, or before they came in my office, she would like, she'd let me know. I said, it's okay. And she wouldn't bother
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
And there's a window in my office, and if I put her outside, it's a full length window, she would scratch and try to open the door to get in.
Wow.
She
Wow.
was like, that dog was my shadow. So,
Yeah, I paid like $600, I think, for the. It wasn't cheap to have Lulu put down,
Yeah.
but the urn and the cremation was 600 something. She said, "Oh, it's a real nice box. They give you rosewood and all this with a plaque." And I got that box, and I was shocked. It looked like something from World's Fair or those stores that have stuff from India.
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, the plaque should be in the envelope." You know what it was? It was cardboard with her name, date of birth, date of death, and there's a sticky part on the back to put on the box.
I
And
got a
I told
paw
her
print.
that is ridiculous.
Well, it is. And here's the thing. They said, well, the cremation costs this much. And if you want get the ashes, but it might be your dogs, there might be other ashes mixed in with it. And I'm like, what? So if you want your dog's ashes and this and that, you have to pay this much. And there was a
Jesus.
big scandal here where they were doing that, and it was just ashes. They didn't know they would just put a bunch of animals in there, after they die
Oh
and
yeah,
cremate them.
if you do DNA testing on the ashes, lots of times it's other dogs.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a big scandal here. People went to jail for it.
Oh, good.
Right.
I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. So the box came in this velvet box,
Yeah, they always put a nice velvet bag.
and that's the box.
Also, it's carved on top. Yeah.
And I said, "Well, where's the plaque you said I would get?" Let me show you. It fell out. It's cardboard.
I would complain about that.
I did complain. I'll
And
tell
you
you, I
said,
would never order, but let me show you what Lulu's in now.
"Ah, that's sweet.
And it,
Ah,
and it says, "We love our sweet girl. We will see you in heaven."
oh, I want to cry. That is so
But
sweet.
this piece of shit, I'll save it. I don't know why, but
How do you really feel? It looks like those cheap jewelry boxes that they bought in bulk.
yes. And let me tell you too, with Lulu, I don't know who's the place. I heard they were in Santa Rosa. I don't know who the place is that did hers, but the box was intricate. It had Moochie's design on it of his face and his date of birth and his date of death. Very nice. Okay, so
So I
let's
guess the thing on everybody's lips is the correspondence dinner, right?
yeah, everybody. They said 70% of America thinks it was staged.
Well, I do too. But I talked to Gary, and Gary said, I said, I think it's an excuse for him to get his ballroom because it can be like, well, security, so we'll just have it at my new ballroom. But Gary said that the president doesn't choose where it's at. The Association of
Yeah,
Correspondents,
but he's using it to get the ballroom,
of
which has
course,
nothing to
to
do
do
with the
with
press.
any right. And even if it wasn't staged, and I am convinced it was, then why wasn't the Secret Service and why wasn't security in that hotel doing their job?
It was very half-ass.
Total. I mean, total. But
And then they were all laughing. You see Trump in the background on the side. Oh, and he told that O'Donnell last night on 60 Minutes. Uh,
I saw that. And
I didn't. He said I didn't fall. I went under the table. No, he fell.
no, he said, they told me get down. They told me to get down, but I'm kind of tall and I wanted to see what was going on. And then they told me to get down, so I got down. He fell. Oh, come
He
on.
fell.
Don't believe your eyes.
Initially even Melania, they got under the table.
Right. Don't
But
believe your
then
eyes,
they
folks.
lifted him up and said, "Come on, sir." And as they moved forward, his fat ass went straight down.
He's a snake oil salesman. Don't believe your eyes. I didn't fall. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter if he tripped over his feet or whatever. They were right. But those poor agents probably all had to go out on leave because their backs were whacked out.
And well, they got JD Vance out first, but I watched that interview on 60 Minutes with I forget the female reporter.
Nora O'Donnell or something.
Yeah, and he was brutal. He was mean to her. She asked a question about this manifesto that the supposed shooter had written, and she brought up the Epstein files and thing, that was in the manifesto. I just knew you were going to ask that question. You're a horrible human being. The Democrats are doing this, and oh my God, it got disjointed. He called her a horrible human being. You know,
She's
I
like,
don't.
it's going right past her. She don't go to bed at night crying over him.
You know what though, Linda? I admire her for her professionalism because it would have been me. I would have went.
I would, yeah, me, you and me, we would have been back to, oh, bitch. Oh, hell no.
I would have been in the middle of next week, right?
So I predicted, somebody told me I predicted in July a couple of attempts. So this
Uh,
is the
you,
next
you
one, and I think there'll be another one.
you
He's not safe wherever he goes.
you did predict more attempts, and you predicted that a while ago
Yeah, July of last year.
after supposedly the one to his ear where he had the sanitary napkin on his ear.
And everybody wore a sanitary napkin.
He's loving the attention he's getting, and he thinks it makes him look big and mighty, but it's just making his popularity even worse, you know?
Well, and then they're up there smirking and laughing, thinking it's a ha ha great time.
Right. A lot of
But there's
reporters,
that one guy they showed that sat there and continued eating his dinner.
oh, I would have done the same thing.
Hell yeah.
I've been like, I'm not giving up this steak for nobody.
Hell no. He had chicken.
Well, Donna was like, well, we could go on with it and blah, blah, blah. And oh, please. It was all hype,
And
from
then you
them.
saw the press corps, somebody's table, a woman stole 2 bottles of champagne.
Well, good for her. Nobody's taking this seriously.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I do not, and I repeat, I do not see him getting that ballroom. Do you?
I just don't see it.
I don't either.
I
Uh,
don't know if they're going to make him tear it down totally, but I feel like it's a mess.
I see it being halted. I see whatever's there I see the Rose Garden coming back, and they're going to be, we don't need this ballroom. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. Now he wants to send taxpayers' money to United Arab Emirates. Did you hear that one?
No, why?
It was billions. Well, they don't need it. They're wealthy, but we can help them or whatever he said. And our taxpayers' money he wants to send to the UAE, and yet we can't afford groceries.
No, I
You
know,
know,
but they are furious at him, so he's trying to make amends.
of course, he's trying to buy them off, and it's not going to work.
No,
I went to a restaurant yesterday, and I got a chicken wrap with a little side salad, $25. I
that
mean,
sounds normal.
I know, but a year ago, before he took office, I could have gotten the same thing for 15. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And the price of medications, you know? So he's wasting all this money. And, people win elections on economic issues, not so much social ones. And I see the Dems taking the House and the Senate like in a blue
Candy.
tsunami.
People said, "Oh, he's going to try to cheat." I don't care what he does. He's not going to. It's not going to happen. It's going to be, although it's a smaller state, Hungary, but it's going to be that kind of energy.
Bingo.
Everybody coming out on the streets.
If the Dems don't win the midterms, then there's going to be massive cheating.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. Don't even say that. Poof poof.
I'm not worried about it because
Knock on wood.
I see the Dems taking it in a tsunami.
Yeah. Well, also, did you hear Netanyahu's in all kinds of trouble?
Yes, I've been saying that the Israelis
Two,
would let him.
two. Like we have Democrats, Republicans, Independent. Two of them merged to be sure that they were against Netanyahu.
They're
And
going to
some
get
bigwigs said, no, he doesn't get off with a free ticket for not being charged for his crimes.
That's right.
And people on the streets was magnificent.
I have friends in Israel and I have Israeli friends, and they've been telling me that they do not like Bibi Netanyahu. They want him gone.
There's a lot of good
And
people in
and
Israel that,
you know, my guides had shown me people in droves protesting in Israel and getting rid of them. And we've been saying
yeah,
that for a long time.
yeah.
So yes, that's news.
So he's got to be sweating.
You know what? He's going to go to jail and he's going to be tried for war crimes and crimes against humanity. Um, and I think it's a message to T. Rump as well. You
Yeah.
know,
So
um,
okay, here's an interesting question. We have a lot of gray whale deaths. I just watched on the news there was a death. I hate seeing whales die.
me too. There are so many
Uh,
jokes.
I don't know if it was off Santa Cruz or whatever, but anyway, it had all kinds of markings where a boat had hit it. So now they're coming up with some new stuff about boats in the water, etc.
Good, because that's why they die, because they get hit by boats and they get infected. Um, I forget they're in Belize. I can't think of the name of them. They almost look like a walrus, but they're not, and I can't think of the name of them. And so what happened is the cruise ships companies bought these islands and they have to use boats to go through these narrow canals where these creatures live. I can't think of the name of them. But anyway, the boats, the propellers were like cutting into them and they were dying and they're on the endangered species list. So there's a lot of hoopla about these cruise ship companies, what they're doing to these canals and it's killing these animals. Um, so that's why there's certain cruise ships I will not go on. I refuse.
But are they coming up with some way to stop this?
They're fighting it. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but the cruise ships say, "Oh, we're not hurting these animals," but they are. It's not from the ship itself. It's the boats they use to get people from the ship to the island they own.
So did you see
Manatees. I think they're manatees.
did you see those sharks that started fighting ships, started pushing them over, boats and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Because they were getting hurt and they had enough.
I'm looking this up. I think they're manatees, if that's what they're called. But yeah, Belize holds the world's largest population of the endangered Antillean manatees. Um, so we went to see them, and it was incredible. But they live in these shallow lagoons or waterways, and the boats, like I said, getting people from the ship to the islands that are also in these waterways, were killing the manatees.
Wow.
So there's a big push down there to have it stopped.
Okay, pick a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get back to it. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Okay. Um, okay. I don't know if this is true, but okay. This is a really long one, so I'll just go into not so long. Okay. Hello, Linda and Mel. I so appreciate both of you being delightful and answering questions. So we talk quite a bit about the federal level of government, but what is going to happen at the state level? There are so many red states pushing extreme agendas and laws. It's unnerving. Will there be a repeal of some of these crazy laws as well in the states?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, in the red states, you're going to have Republicans getting kicked out.
A lot of red states are going blue or purple.
Yeah,
I mean, look at some of those deep red districts in certain states that went blue. So,
yeah. Don't worry, you guys. It'll all work out.
all right, it's your turn, darling.
So, will Congress vote to cut Social Security by $460 a month?
If they do, it's
I don't
gonna,
see them being able to do it. I see a fight for life.
if they do, the Republicans that'll vote for it might as well kiss their careers goodbye
Yeah,
because, they've already raised our Medicare, which comes out of our Social Security, which really is a cut to our Social Security. And if they cut it anymore, it might get through the House, but I do not see it getting through the Senate.
Yeah, I see too many people banging drums.
Right.
Okay,
Oh
go
my.
ahead.
Okay. Uh, Let me see. This is so many in one. It's like a whole paragraph, so there's too many to go through. Um, this is different, but it's a good one. Mary Morris says, will there be any new treatments for diabetes that do not include shots or wearing a pump?
Absolutely. It's coming up within the next 3 to 5 years.
They have a functional cure now where they take the islands of Langerhans that produce insulin and they don't put them in the pancreas, they put them in the liver.
Oh,
And I think they did it with 5 people, and out of 5 people, I think 3 were completely cured and 2 significantly cut down their insulin.
wow, that's
So I
great.
think, and I think there's a lot of research with monoclonal antibodies. My cousin has multiple myeloma, and there's a new monoclonal antibody she's being treated with, and it's working amazingly
That's
well.
great. That's good
Yeah, so
news.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of promise there. So don't give up, Mary Morris.
Sylvia said, can you tell me if beyond all this chaos and suffering, if there will be something positive, anything at all, coming out from all of this?
Well, I think it's an end to voter apathy. Remember when people wouldn't even go vote? You
Oh, they're
know,
voting now.
they're voting now. I think, and I think it's rebooting a lot of us because we took our democracy for granted. We never thought something like this could happen. And we thought it only happened over there, and it's happening here. So it's like not to take our democracy for granted, to speak up against injustice, to take our power back. And, uh, I see a whole reawakening of diversity, equality, what was it? Diversity, equality, and inclusion. A lot of laws passed. Uh, to bring back affirmative action, all the things that Trump has done away with.
Yeah,
So, um, I see us banding together to make sure this never happens again. So, there are some positive things that come out of it. Um, that's how I see it. I don't know about you.
well, it's already happening, and a lot of people can't see it because they're looking at the chaos.
Correct. And that's
Look
what
how
Trump wants.
look how ugly he is, Trump. What
Right.
a horrible person he is. Then he sits up there while we watch what happened. He's going to lie to you and say, "No, I didn't fall down." Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we saw it with our own eyes. Or when he calls that reporter because she asked a question and she wasn't accusing him of anything. It was a question he didn't like. Only a horrible person would answer that question. You're a horrible person. Blah 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 blah. You know.
And he does that with the media. Who are you with? Where are you from? And if
Right,
it was
right,
me, I'd say I'm with the United States of America.
right. Oh, it's the Democrats doing this. I mean, he rather than try to get Democrats and Republicans working together, right? He blames everything on the Democrats or Latinos or Muslims or whoever he can blame for that particular
Yeah.
day. All right.
So, will California tax the billionaires? Will
Yeah,
that pass? I feel it will. I know they're
I do.
pissed, but who cares? I was just reading this short little article about one of my favorite presidents, Franklin D. Roosevelt. He taxed them big time, just like Clinton did.
Well, they're
And
going
it
to be,
helped to pay for beginning the Social Security, Medi-Cal, all that stuff.
we shouldn't be having the problems with Social Security. The problem is they misuse it, they borrow from
Oh,
it.
they took money from it, like they did with the fire department. My dad was a fireman, and they put their he didn't ever get Social Security. He didn't pay into it either, but they put their money in a fund with the fire department, and Governor Wilson took out of that fund and never paid it back.
Well, and then they say it's entitlement. Wait a minute. Social Security is not entitlement. We pay for
No,
it. Medicare is
no,
not entitlement. We pay for that.
yeah,
So that's not entitlement. That's something we paid for. If we'd taken that same money and invested it in the stock market, we'd be millionaires.
yeah.
Seriously.
So what's your next question?
Okay. So Matthew Lehman says, will there be any student loan relief like we had with the SAVE plan that they just took away? Payments are going to balloon in an already shaky economy. It's a scary time right now.
But what's the first part of that question?
Will there be any student loan relief like we had with the SAVE plan that
There
they
will
just
be after this a-hole is gone.
once Trump is out of office and the Democrats take over, I keep saying this and I've said it on every show. It's probably getting to be old hat now. But the first thing I see the Democratic president doing is signing an executive order overturning all of Trump's executive.
Everything, including all this state land. He's telling people go ahead and cut down the trees and dig for oil. He's such an idiot.
Yeah, that's going to stop. But I see the SAVE program brought back, and I see legislation where these credit card companies and these banks cannot price gouge. I mean, you get a credit card and you got zero APR for the first year, then it shoots up to like 30%. That's
Of course, of
crazy.
course,
I mean, it's crazy.
of course.
So, and people have to depend on credit cards now to try to live.
Oh God.
And who's making money? The banks.
Yep, yep. So go ahead.
I think it's your turn,
Oh
dear.
yeah, it's my turn. Will Pelosi be able to see Trump be removed before she leaves office in 2027?
She will live long enough to see him
Not
not.
this isn't about her living.
No,
This is
no, I
about
know,
her
I
coming,
know,
stepping
I
down.
know. She will be around long enough to see Trump not finish his full term in office.
Okay. I think Hillary Clinton too.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's got a long way to go yet.
And here's some good news, as everybody knows, or maybe you don't. A Virginia judge has blocked the redistricting that won on Tuesday, but they turned around. The appeals court said no, they can't do that. The people voted for it. So that's
Bingo.
good news. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so glad because here's why. It's giving the Republicans a taste of their own medicine. The Greg Abbott had his way in Texas when they did the redistricting that he thought would favor Republicans. That's going to blow up in his face. And they're like, okay, well, if the court said Texas can do it, we can do it. So they voted to do it in California. They voted for it in Virginia. And you know what? Those states did it the legal way, right?
And they tried to stop it in California too, and they said, I think even it went. Did it go to the Supreme? It's not supposed to go to the Supreme Court because it's state mandated.
But what is the Supreme Court going to say?
The
You know
state
what?
Supreme Court
Well,
said
I know
no.
that,
The people voted for it, so you can't just randomly take it
but
off.
the Supreme Court of the United States allowed Texas to get by with it. And so if it goes to SCOTUS, not the state Supreme Court, but SCOTUS, what are they going to do? Say this state can get by with it and that one can't? No.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay. Um, I'm having a hard time reading this. Will Orange and GOPs ruin SSA in medical? Because so far it's
They
not
want
good.
to, but they're not going to be able to achieve it.
Okay, there you go. This is from Nora Flores. Thank you, Nora.
Now I'm going to have to throw a card on this question.
Okay.
Um, it says, will Trump be removed alone, or will J.D. Vance hold the fort for a while? Actually, I don't have to. I do see J.D. Vance holding the fort, but he's going to go. He's going to have to walk the plank himself.
I've seen it when JD Vance has to hold the fort, that he's going to be
He's going to be what?
impeached.
Oh yeah, I see that too.
Um, ooh,
What?
I pulled the Ten of Swords.
Oh yeah,
People are going to be
it's not
stabbing J.
pretty.
They're going to be
What I
stabbing J.
wanted to ask you though, I didn't see it on here. What do you think about Justice Roberts? Now, this information about what his wife has done, about making money on people who he was hearing the case, it's totally illegal. But I've heard this several years ago.
Oh, it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, so why? What's the difference now? Well, the difference is as soon as a Democratic office comes in, he's going up on the plank.
I see him being impeached too and removed
Yeah,
from the court. I look, I pulled the Five of Swords for the Supreme Court justice, and that's
yeah.
deceit, deception.
They made
Uh,
money the wrong way.
Absolutely. For JD Vance, um, I don't know. I I see him impeached. All right. Um, he's just gonna he'll really be a do nothing president, and he won't last long.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they want him to do the 25th Amendment to Trump, but I don't think he will. But
God,
look,
when you see that picture of all those, yeah, when you see that picture of all those men standing behind Trump and Trump like this, it's just unbelievable that he's still president.
you smell this terrible smell and you hear like, so that's when you know you're in the room with Donald.
He used to sleep all the time when he was up at trial. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on, let me get back to my questions here. My phone shuts off. Okay, we've asked that. Uh, oh, this is a good one. Hello, Mel and Linda. Will the Trump regime get the medical records of present employees and retirees like they want to? What did they do with those medical records? Ah, that's a good question.
I don't
That
see
is-
them getting any more.
I don't either. I think they were using them to try to do statistical analysis to see, what diseases people over a certain age get, and to try to use that to figure out how to cut their benefits, whether it's through Medicare or Medicaid or insurance or whatever. And I think some of the insurance companies are behind that as well.
Yeah, and he never came up with another program. He said, I'll have the best. He never
Yeah,
came up
remember
with
that?
anything.
In a few weeks, I'm going to come out with the best program, the best health care that this country's ever had. And we're still waiting. That's like what, 8 years ago, and we're still
I got the
waiting.
best people working on it.
Oh, yeah. The war is going to be over in, a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. We're waiting for that.
Um, what do you see the housing market getting better for first-time home buyers? Not till after Trump's gone.
Not till after Cittadini's out is out. Then it'll get better.
Yeah.
How will the how will the May Day do nothing day go? Will it help us all? Please, thank you both. That was
Oh yeah, we're supposed to not order anything or
strike. It's a general
yeah.
strike. And I see more of those coming. Uh,
But
like
this one I'm not seeing huge things happening. I'm sorry, I'm not.
I think it sets the stage for other general strikes, and I see more general strikes coming. And then things just people not ordering, things just kind of some stores open, but people not buying, things
Yeah.
shutting down. And what's the government going to say? You
And
have to buy
even
stuff.
during World War II, beauty was never affected by wars or depression. And my facial lady said they're really slowed down to nothing. And my nail lady said they're really slowed down.
Right, because
And
people are,
people can't afford. You either pay for gas or the nails, one or the other.
that's right. So, um, but I do see more general strikes coming. And what's Trump going to say? They're illegal? Well, if I decide to close my business for a day, what makes that illegal?
Yeah, yeah.
But I do see the No King's Day marches. I see more
Huge. Just like
protests.
with Israel. Huge.
People are going to be protesting in the streets against this war against him in record numbers.
And what, just like I said the last time he lost, people will be dancing in the streets. You will see so much partying going on when he loses or when he's gone.
When he's gone, I'm going to open a
Because he's
bottle of
not running
champagne.
again, but when he's gone.
When he's gone, from office, and Shady Vance is gone, the Maybelline Queen, I'm going to open a bottle of champagne and take a big sip right in front of everybody. How's
I
that?
just got a hit that they're going to be building new homes, first time buyers, to accommodate families. I just saw that.
Yeah, but it's going to take 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but I do see them doing things to help families. Boy, we sure had it good back when my parents, my parents, for their first and only house that they lived in for 60 some odd years, it was 14,000. Was it 14,000 or 1,004? It was 14,000 because he made $50 a month payments through the California VA.
Right. Right. I see things in California to help make it more affordable for people. Because $1 million out there gets you nothing. Here, $1 million
No,
gets you a nice size house. There,
yeah,
nada, you know.
no, and it is true when people say, California's expensive. That PG&E is charging up the yin yang. That PG&E is actually going to get brought down a few notches. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I see it happening.
Because I see legislation passed out there to say that they can't price gouge like that, and they're going to start working on hydrogen things, and the only byproduct of hydrogen energy is water vapor.
And they're also going to get hit on insurance companies.
Exactly.
They're living carte blanche. They think they can just charge us anything. They're going to hit them too.
And there's legislation here. It's going to be legislation here in Illinois to keep insurance companies from price gouging. So,
Well, listen, how was Chicago with all these tornadoes in Kansas and everywhere? Last night I was watching the Weather Channel. Where they had four in one area, another, and that some of them were heading to Illinois.
well, it's global warming that's doing it, but we've always had tornadoes. But the problem is when it gets really warm early in the season, like we were having unseasonably warm weather in March and April. And then when you get a cold front coming through, that's what creates what's right for tornadoes.
Yeah,
That's why most homes here have basements. I won't live in a place without a basement because I've been through a
it's
tornado.
very important. And the Comanche tribe in Lawton, they will help you finance or give you a shelter that you can bury in the ground.
Well, because Oklahoma's Tornado Alley.
Oh, yeah.
We're not in Tornado Alley, but Kentucky gets a lot of tornadoes. There's a lot of basements there too. Or you can even get a tornado-proof room in your home. But whenever the sirens go off, I go in the basement. I'm not going to play around.
Yeah, yeah,
And they've been going off a lot lately. So,
yeah, Jesus.
um,
So, does Hedgehog know that he'll be taking the fall? I think he thinks he's in Trump's good graces, but right now, this is rumor has it, the military and the Navy, you see what they're feeding the Navy. We don't know if that's absolutely true. It's
oh,
all,
I believe it's true.
but
Absolutely.
they are struggling. They're not wanting to be there.
Um, I see Hegseth gone. I think the next one, the next big one, I'm thinking, I don't know. Cash Patel keeps popping into my head. Trump's going to get
So,
rid of Cash
and
Patel.
I also see the gray hair lady.
Oh, did you hear the thunder? Speaking of tornadoes,
No, I just had a helicopter pass over my house. That's probably Trump and his people trying to tap into what we're talking about,
it's well, whatever you said, a thunderclap just happened, so it must be
which
true.
means a lightning strike.
There you go. We hit it with, him getting rid of Noam, and then Noam's replacement is quitting at the end of May, and him getting rid of Bondi, and I don't know how that
By the way,
replacement.
she's still living in the Coast Guard house.
Well, she's going to have to go.
I just really feel they're going to just tell her get out because the Coast Guard wants it back.
Oh, exactly, and the Coast Guard will take it back.
Yeah,
I
that
just hope
poor
they.
Coast Guard. They're not getting paid.
I know. I've got friends that are working for the government. They're not getting paid at all.
Jesus, terrible.
And I really hope that whoever moves in that place where Pam Bondi has moved into, once she's gone, I hope they sage it and have the priest come in
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
exactly.
seriously. But it's funny. I don't know who goes first. Is it Hegseth and then Patel, or is it Patel and then Hegseth? But they're on the chopping block. They
I
will
feel
be on the chopping.
Patel before Hedges, but I also feel that what's her name with the long gray streak?
Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, her. I see her going.
Oh, good. A lot of them. Um, I think Trump is nervous about the midterms because he's already had private meetings. Well, they're going to try to they'll impeach me. Um, he's pulling all the shenanigans he can to
But he
divert
also
attention.
is looking for an exit.
I think so. Yeah. Uh,
And the other thing is,
but read
now
more
that
on that.
Virginia's being told, no, you guys voted, you can keep your, and he's like, oh my God.
So I'm just curious when you say he's looking for an exit.
I
Extract.
see that if he'll, when the writing's on the wall and he knows for sure, Congress and the Senate are just going to vote him out
Do you
or
think he'll
vote
resign?
blue. He knows he's in trouble. He might actually wait till after the voting, but he's going to find an exit.
Do you think he'll resign?
I think he'll run. Run, Forrest, run.
Life's like a box of chocolate. Um, I see them behind closed doors pressuring him to resign.
Because
Could be
he's
wrong.
ruined it for all of them. And
Oh
and then
yeah.
all these, including Lindsey Graham,
Oh,
they're all
Lindsay.
going to get voted out. Susan Collins is in way below. She's going to get voted out.
Susan Collins will be gone. She's gonna do shake
Yes,
and bake
because
commercials.
we've learned our lesson. Fetterman got no support from the Democrats at all. They want him out.
He's gonna be gone. Fetterman, Collins, Lindsey Graham after this, horse meat. He's gone. That's an insult to horses.
The
He's gone.
DOJ wants to reinstate the firing squad. Is that T's preferred option when he's tried for treason?
That was good. If they reinstate it, they won't reinstate it long because of it'll when it goes to a new Supreme Court, they're going to say it's cruel and unusual punishment. And I see there's going to be a time in this country when they're going to do away with the death penalty again.
Damn. Yeah.
Um, and put an into a lot of these private prisons where these people are being fed food that's not fit to eat.
Oh, those are poor naval people. I can't believe, these are young people that need, give them at least a grilled cheese sandwich or something with protein in it.
There's no reason for our troops, our military people, who I support 150%, to have to eat that slop.
Yeah. God bless them.
I think those politicians that wouldn't vote for, I think those politicians like Trump and all those people should have to eat that food.
Hey, listen, I went on a destroyer. My first husband was on a destroyer, and they had family day where they went from Treasure Island out into the bay and back. I got nauseous. I can't handle boats, any boat. But we went below to have the meal they served. They had steaks this big.
Oh yeah. I
They
mean,
had all this food, and back in them days, this girl could put it down. I couldn't eat because I was too nauseous.
the food usually in the military, like in the
It's
Navy,
delish.
is really good.
My
But
dad and mom said the best times of their life was when they lived at Fort Benning, where I was born. It's no longer called Fort Benning. I don't know what the name is. In Columbus, Georgia. And dad, he was a paratrooper. And dad said, like at Thanksgiving, they had huge amounts of turkeys and everything. And he said the cook knew dad because my dad was always very sweet to the cooks, and they would give mom and dad a bunch of turkey and leftovers to take home. He said we ate like kings and queens.
oh yeah, the food is was used to be really good. In World War II, my dad was in World War II, and if you were a soldier, field rations weren't so great. But now, for the enlisted people and just for the troops in general, what they're saying, what we're hearing about the slop they're serving to our military is true right now. But
Oh,
it shouldn't be that way because it used to be excellent food.
yeah. Well, they just don't have enough food.
That's
They're
still no
they're
reason
giving
for
you a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
You know what? And what does that tell you? That tells you that whoever is in charge, like Trump and all these people, you want a military, but yet you can't feed them. And so why would you give your billionaire friend tax breaks when you can take some of that money to feed
Yeah.
our troops and
And
to
I
feed our
don't know
families?
what the quality of the food is now. I've heard the quality of military food is not that great.
It's not that great now.
But at least you could put ketchup on it. You could get full. Now
But
they don't have enough there.
right.
Could
And
you
that's
see you
horrible.
and me on the ship trying to figure out what to do with this slop? We'd figure
I'd be
out
like,
something. We'd cut up some green onions and get some
I'd do
parsley.
something. Be like, expect me to eat this? Let me open the refrigerator, see what you got, right?
Do you have another question?
Yeah. This is Thomas. How will the conversation about all the atrocities done to the people in US and by the US to the world begin? Who will lead it? It started already.
It's already started.
Started in
We are
Minneapolis.
so unbelievably made fun of. Nobody likes us. Oh, can I tell you a quick story I read which has a good outcome? Oh, you're freezing. I wonder if I'm freezing too. You still there? Probably something to do with the lightning and thunder. Well, let me tell my story real quick. Some lady, I don't know if you guys read it, in Colombia or someplace. She and her daughter were kidnapped 7 years ago and assaulted, etc. It was terrible. And it was a neighbor. And the neighbor went to trial and he served his time. And then he got out and he was in a bar and she walked in the bar and he says to her, "How's your daughter?" Wink, wink. Oh, there goes Mel. He's probably coming back in. I just heard from Mel, and he said our power went out and our internet is out and it's hailing horribly. So just like I told you, it was the weather. So I told him I'll close it out. But let me finish with this story real quick. So this lady went back into the bar and had gotten a can of gasoline and she lit him on fire. And which I know isn't funny, but he was hospitalized and died 3 days later. And the courts, of course, she has to be punished, but apparently she got a couple of years and then they dropped that because they all believed what she did was right. But anyway, somebody said, Mirari said, "Is suicide or attempted suicide part of the life plan?" Not necessarily. It's, let me remind you guys what they've told me on and on again. Free will. Free will involves taking your own life. So there's just some people that can't handle the pain and probably miss being home again, on the other side. So there's just some people that want to go home. And that's sometimes people do that. And surprisingly, I was quite surprised because you always hear hell and damnation if you take your own life. Surprisingly, it's not like that. It's more loving. Imagine you being the parent of someone that took their life. You would give them every opportunity to heal and be good and love them. So that's how it is over there. Um, that's funny how DOJ wants to install the firing squad. Yeah, right. Whatever. Who's the next governor of California? I think Becerra may be it. Because if you guys saw, remember I told you I didn't want to make a decision until they had their debate? Did you guys see the pictures after the debate? Tom Sire was all over the guy, Hilton. Like, "Oh, buddies, best friends, I haven't seen you." And Katie Holmes was with that other guy. I guess they had been friends, the sheriff. And or what's her name? Kate. I can't remember her name. But I think Becerra's going to win it. Okay, I could be wrong. Ooh, I got the hiccups. Man, I wish I was at Mel's house. I love a good hailstorm and lightning. Ooh. No, Carolyn Levitt wasn't demoted. She's on going on maternity leave. She's on maternity leave. And I really feel that this Supreme Court is going to be, you wait and see what happens. I think even before, after the midterms, I think they're going to already be on them, making them come into Congress and testify under oath. Um, okay, you guys. So listen, there's a lot more questions here. We can do another one, but we've already taken an hour. And I can bore the hell out of you. If you got another hour, I'll tell you my life story. So, okay, so Mel got kicked off, froze and kicked off because big storm at his house. I'll write him and tell him to tell us how it's going. I'm going to be on with Ness at 11:30. So please, if you can, watch the show with Ness. I find her to be very informative. And then I'm also doing, what's his name? Just went blank. Andre tomorrow. All right. Love you all. Cheers.